I had a great weekend and you guys had a great day. So today we're going to do our 2 yoga poses, and if I know what the opposite yoga pose for it is, I'll give a brief demonstration of that, and then we'll do another round of deep breathing, go into our story, come back, do one more yoga pose, and then another round of deep breathing. Our first yoga pose of the night is turtle pose. Sit down with your legs in front of you, slightly bent. Lean forward and slide your hands under your knees to hold the inside of your ankles. Try to touch your forehead to your ankle while breathing deep. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And I haven't had a chance to do my research yet for the opposite pose. What I might do starting in April is our 2 yoga poses will be the opposites of each other, and then we'll end up doing 2 at the end of the night. Let me know if you want me to do that. Our second yoga pose of the night is cat pose. Get down onto all fours, then round and arch your back to look like a cat while breathing deep. All right. My mic's falling. Okay. So remember, cat is when we arch up like this. Cow is when we go like this. But we're doing cat first, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and again, cow, we're just flexing our back the opposite way and lifting up. So we'll do this one for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now let's do one more round of deep breathing before we go to the story. Remember to sit up nice and tall. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Ready? So, as you guys may know, this Wednesday is St. Patrick's Day. So, I thought I would tell an old Irish folktale. So, this story has been told many times because the Irish culture before everything were great storytellers. They were oral. They were some of the greatest storytellers in Europe. A jester could ridicule a king, but as long as he was an entertaining storyteller, he got away with it. So that's why I like celebrating St. Patrick's Day, because it's about that culture and that history of oral storytelling. Now, depending on who's telling this story, it can either be a man or a woman. I'm going to go with my little old lady, and I am going to call her Patty McFlynn. So, I hope you enjoy the story of Paddy McFlynn and the Leprechaun. Once upon a time, in a green isle far, far away, a little old lady named Paddy McFlynn was out walking when she heard a tiny little sound. Tap, 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 tap. I wonder what that could be, said the Paddy. She peeked behind a nearby tree, and there, to her surprise, she saw a leprechaun, all dressed in green. He was tapping away with his little hammer, making shoes for the wee folk to wear. That Paddy McFlynn snuck up behind him and grabbed hold of his coat. "I've got you now, Mr. Leprechaun," she cried. "Indeed you have," said the leprechaun calmly. "But I'll thank you to let me go so that I can get on with my work." "Osh, no," said little old Paddy McFlynn. "Not until you tell me where to find your gold. Everyone knows that when a leprechaun is caught, he has to show where his pot of gold is buried." The leprechaun chuckled. "So, you want my pot of gold, do you? Very well. Just follow me, and I'll show you." The leprechaun started off with little old Paddy McFlynn holding tight to his coattails. She knew that if she were to let go of him, he would disappear in a flash, and she'd never get his pot of gold. At last they came to a field where hundreds of bushes were growing. The leprechaun pointed to one of them and said, "Just dig under this bush and you'll find all the gold that you'll want." Paddy McFlynn stared at the hard ground and thought for a moment. "Oh, I'll have to go home and get the shovel," she said. "But first, I'll tie my red scarf on this bush, and then I'll know where to dig when I come back. Whoosh!" "That's a good idea," said the leprechaun, with a twinkle in his eye. "Whoosh! Enjoy the gold when you find it." And with a wave of his hand, he was gone. Paddy McFlynn ran home and waited till darkness to sneak back out to the field. She didn't want anybody else to see what she was up to and steal the gold from under her. As she started back, she began thinking about how she would spend all of her gold. But when she reached the field, what should she see? Instead of one single red scarf on a bush, fluttering in the wind and the moonlight, every bush had a red scarf tied on it. "Oh no!" cried Paddy McFlynn. "That leprechaun tricked me! I can't dig under all these bushes by myself. I'll do what I can, but I fear I'm going home without my gold." And so she dug all night under every bush that she could. But alas, that leprechaun was clever, and there was no gold to be found. And so Paddy McFlynn learned a wise lesson about tricking a leprechaun. And if you want to try it, you really have to outsmart them. The end. So, I know my accent wasn't the greatest in some spots. I'm part Scottish, not part Irish. but I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Let's go over and do one more round of yoga and deep breathing before we say goodnight. So what would you guys use to try and trick the leprechaun, even though leprechauns are super tricky? Let's do one more round of yoga and deep breathing before we say goodnight. Our final yoga pose of the night is child pose. Get down onto all fours and then rest your bum on your heels with your chest on the floor and your arms stretch out in front while breathing deep. All right, so again, I have to set my hips a little bit further apart and come forward and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And namaste. So let's do one more round of deep breathing before we head off to sleep. And I hope everybody has sweet dreams. Bye.